Spider-Man Homecoming. Still a weird title no matter how many times I say it.
Sup, guys? Wait a minute. You guys aren't the real Avengers. I can tell Hulk gives it away. Oh, that was awesome.
So, Spider-Man Homecoming, the third of start of a Spider-Man series in about 15 years, and my god, is that a depressing thought. And like most people, I'm kind of burned out with Spider-Man. Like, quickly, my thoughts on the original, on the rest of the series. Okay, the original three, first one, perfectly decent watchable film. The second one, my god, I think this is one of the most overrated movies of all time. Like, so many people like to remember it as like one of the all-time great superhero greats. Like, certainly like stands next to like the Dark Knight or Logan as one of like the untouchable masterpieces. Guys, watch it again. It does not hold up in the slightest. It is exactly what the first one was. It was a goofy, simplistic, completely decent and watchable superhero film. That's it. It is still nothing great. It's fine. But don't add, like, watch it again and honestly tell me this is, like, one of the masterpieces of superhero cinema. It's really not. It's fine. And that's why for the Spider-Man 3, I actually like Spider-Man 3, because unlike most people who thought 2 was a masterpiece, so they were so disappointed that the third one was a goofy, silly, film, they said like, oh god, why how did this series that was just so serious and so like dramatic and like emotionally riveting in the like second film especially, how did it get to this? Guys, that's how it always was. Like, seriously, like I said, watch Spider-Man 2 again. It honestly tell me if this holds up. It does not hold up. I didn't even think it held up that much when it came out. When I saw it as a kid, and I thought it was a goofy movie. Like, but anyway, and as far as the first reboot the first reboots go with Andrew Garfield, the first one with Garfield, The Amazing Spider-Man, that was actually my favorite Spider-Man movie. I liked it more than the original Spider-Man films, mainly for the fact I thought I liked Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone way more than Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst, and yeah, that's basically it. I just enjoyed watching these people play Spider-Man a lot, playing Spider-Man as love interest a lot more. That, and then the second one, I like it. I like it. I'm with most people like who like the movie. Like, I've never seen a movie I liked that seems to try its hardest to make you hate it as much as possible, but yeah, like, you can definitely tell, like, this was completely Sony's fault, just clearly just wanting to make their own MCU just out of Spider-Man, especially with the whole, like, you can tell they're just trying to set up a Sinister Six movie, but even then, though, like I said, I still really liked Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, and that's why I still enjoyed it. So that was the reboots. And hey, if you don't like Spider-Man 2, give the Amazing Spider-Man 2 at least take comfort in knowing that led to Spider-Man being given to Marvel. So now we first had Spider-Man make his appearance in Captain America: Civil War, where he was certainly one of the best things about that movie, and now he gets his full own movie in Spider-Man Homecoming. And is this the best Spider-Man movie ever made? Yes, I would say yes. I really did like this movie. So let's get into the good and bad of this movie. Well, first, let's say it how it is. Tom Holland, if you really liked him in his appearance in Civil War and were really excited to see a whole movie of him as Spider-Man, then he lives up to your all expectations. They finally do get Spider-Man right in this film. Like, I don't read superhero comics, but I know what the character Spider-Man's supposed to be like, and they get him right in this. He's just a very energetic, very upbeat and optimistic, nerdy superhero, and that's who he is, and that's how Tom Holland plays him, and he's a blast. And he's not they don't. It's not obnoxious like in the nerdiness like Tobey Maguire, in which his whole performance in his entire trilogy was just that in which he just would not stop crying the entire series like the wimp he was. No. Tom Holland, he's nerdy, but he's still very optimistic and upbeat. That, and he didn't have the problem that Andrew Garfield had, in which, like, Andrew Garfield worked as the hero Spider-Man, but I can understand the complaints for his performance as Peter Parker, for the fact just Andrew Garfield was just too cool for the role. He's just too dashing and good looking of a guy and charismatic of a guy to play Peter Parker. But so yeah, Tom Holland, he is the Spider-Man fans have always hoped for. But it's not just Tom Holland. The supporting cast in this film was just great. First, let's just say, great to see Robert. Always great to see Robert Downey Jr. Return as Iron Man. Even though I'm guessing now, I'm pretty confident at this point we will never get an Iron Man 4. It was really nice to see him in a non-Avengers or level MCU film. It was nice to see him a more low-key Marvel film again, and he's always just tons of fun. Robert Downey Jr. Michael Keaton's really fun as the villain. He's nothing. Don't think this is finally gonna be the MCU villain that finally breaks the mold of not just being a very just standard, just evil kind of guy. Well, I should say they try to give him a bit more depth than most Marvel villains, but still nothing great. I still stand by definitely the most deep MCU villain was the guy in Civil War, just for the fact you can almost argue that if there was no casualties involved in his plan, you could almost make the argument at the end of the film, was he really a villain in the end? Like, or was he just a guy who wanted the revenge for like other people, like who did pretty much just ruin his life? Michael Keaton, though, like I said, doesn't break the mold in any way. But I will say this: he thinks along the lines of Mads Mikkelsen and Doctor Strange or Corey Stoll and Ant-Man. Just the fact, like, those guys are just such good actors that they're able to like make something out of nothing, and that's what Michael Keaton's able to do. He's just very enjoyably insane throughout this, and he does give some depth to his characters. So yeah, he's Michael Keaton's tons of fun at the villain. Zendaya Coleman as the new love interest. She's a good shakeup from your typical Marvel love interest. Instead of just being like the typical just like nice supportive girlfriend like they usually are in these films, like the fact that instead she's like just a very cynical and downbeat kind of woman, and I thought she was a really hilarious foil to Peter and all his upbeat optimism. I thought honestly those two could honestly have the best relationship in the entire MCU. That or Drax and Mantis from Guardians 2. Those two are also amazing. Also, as far as other supporters cast goes, Jacob Batalon, hope I'm saying that name right. He's a really enjoyable, like, best friend supporting character. How he helps in the end was truly surprising, and I thought that really I thought was really fun, enjoyable. Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. She's Marissa Tomei. She's just as charming and charismatic as ever, and she gets one of the best lines in the entire MCU at the very end of this film. And this film also includes cameos from from other major MCU characters. Some I was just really happy to see. Others I was shocked to see because I never thought I'd see them in the MCU again. But I was so happy to see them, and it was just tons of fun to see them. So yeah, supporting cast in this film was just fantastic. And I gotta say, all things considered, I honestly think this is the most charming film in the entire MCU. Not best, just most charming. The reason for this is, one, I gotta say this, I really love just how bright and colorful this movie was. Like, more than any other MCU film I saw, this really did look like just a live-action comic book to me. Like, just so many bright colors, like, especially the Spider-Man suit, it's just such bright, vibrant blue and reds, and, so yeah, it's probably the most colorful I've ever seen an MCU film. Like I said, as far as the cast go, everyone's just a tons of fun, being really charming, charismatic, and this film has a great upbeat soundtrack, tons of great musical cues, and this is a very, very tongue-in-cheek movie. Like, you can tell there are completely moments where this film is just effing with you as an audience goer. Like, some of the more obvious ones, like Michael Keaton, his villain costume is he's basically a giant mechanical bird, or Birdman, if you will. I mean, do I even have to comment about what they're making a joke of there? So yeah, that, and not just that though, like the really like douchey kid in this film that's like bullying Peter throughout. His name is Flash. Why not just call him Damn You DC for making that Spider-Man show we've always wanted to make? Good show, by the way. Really like it. So very tongue-in-cheek movie. And just for some final points, some really good action in this film. Just very acrobatic and very energetic, like it should be in a Spider-Man movie. And I gotta give credit to this film for being a very small movie. It definitely helped make the whole Spider-Man being the friendly neighborhood hero thing more true than ever, for the fact they're not trying to fight to save the world in this movie or anything like that. He is just basically trying to stop high-tech super robbers. That's all he's trying to do in this film. Like, there's even a comment by Robert Downey Jr. at one point in which when Spider-Man says, like, hey, will you help me, like, bring down these guys? So just like, nah, this is below the Avengers pay grade. Yeah, so, yeah, this was a very low-key, really not much connection to the... Okay, let me rephrase that. There's a lot of connection to the rest of the MCU in this film, just for the fact he's, like, is being mentored by Iron Man throughout it, but, like, there's, like, nothing, like, it's never, like, the Infinity Stones show up, or, like, there's more mentions of Thanos or anything like that. No, this is very self-contained for the most part, so, yeah. And I cannot praise this movie enough for doing this. Writers, directors, creators of this show, I want to speak to you, have a heart-to-heart to you right now, because I want you to know how thankful I am about this. Thank you. And I think I speak on behalf of the entire movie-going populace. Thank you for skipping Spider-Man's origin story. It has only been 15 years since the original Spider-Man. We've had another reboot film in between that and this. We know how he becomes Spider-Man. We didn't need to see that, and thank God they didn't show it. There is literally a line in which his friend says, hey, how'd you get all these superpowers? Like, I was bit by a radioactive spider, and that's all you needed. That's all you needed. There's another line in which Spider-Man just says, like, I don't want to upset my aunt. She's going through a lot right now. All you need. We don't need to see Uncle Ben for the 50th time. We get it. We know. Thank you for skipping it. Thank you so much for not wasting any time on that. Thank you. But this was no stretch of the imagination, a perfect movie. As far as the bad of this movie goes, or the negatives, really, the main problem is it's just, once again, it's just your typical Marvel fare. Like, this is nothing like that transcends the formula like in Civil War is. Like, I don't think we'll get another Civil War until maybe Infinity War. Or something around that, because this is a film that very much just goes through the motions. Hero, villain, he defeats the villain. Everything that you think will happen does happen in this movie, but it works. Like I said, Marvel, they have a formula, but it's a formula that works. So who am I to knock them for using it so much? But yeah, and the other big problem with this movie is, God, this movie really could have used like. Even though they skipped the origin story, this was still a surprisingly long movie. Like, this really could have been, like, 20 to 30 minutes shorter. Like, I was just, like, I, like, leaned over to my friend, like, my friend, like, mentioned, like, after we got out of the theater, he was just, like, that, like, I can't believe how late it is. I just, like, looked at the time, I was like, God, how long was that movie? And, yeah, this really could have been, like, 20 to 30 minutes short. There were a lot of scenes that just drag. Oh, and, just as a side complaint, Marvel. Why? This is a movie that is set in New York. So why? Why was there no reference to Daredevil or Jessica Jones in this movie? I mean, shit, God damn it. This would have been the perfect opportunity to reference either of these two. Like, there was a lot in which Robert Downey Jr. was, talking to Tom Holland, saying like, can you just be like your friendly neighborhood superhero? I'm like, well, I was so expecting him just to say like, you know, like that, like devil guy or that crazy detective we've heard so much about. Seriously, why is there no reference to Daredevil or Jessica Jones? I've wanted this ever since those shows aired. Why did you have to miss this opportunity? Just, god damn it, I really was hoping for that when I walked into this, but it wasn't meant to be, I guess. Oh well. So, to sum up my thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming, still a weird title. As far as the good goes, finally gets Spider-Man right. Fantastic cast, incredibly charming, good action, skips the origin story. As far as bad goes, it's your typical fare, and it goes on too long. This could have been shorter, so that's why I'm going to give Spider-Man Homecoming a very solid 7 out of 10. I really liked it, and just to give a point of reference, I would have given Marvel's previous film this year, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, also a 7 out of 10. Once again, really good. Like them both. I like Marvel has a formula that works, and they're really good at just making very likable movies. Once again, lots of fun. Very much enjoyed it. If you're a Spider-Man fan, this probably will be the Spider-Man film you've always hoped for, so you'll probably like it more than I did. So that's my thoughts. YouTube, as always, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.